Okay, guys. So hopefully, you guys watched the first video, and now we're gonna do like the second page real quick. So what the second page will be in this case, how I talked about before, how there might be something that you want to add on here, but maybe you forgot, right? So what I'm going to do is, just as an example, I'm gonna take this here. Maybe I wanted like an extra logo right here, right? Kind of how I showed in class. All right. So what you would do is don't do that line work. Don't do that line work here. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make that change right here. I know it's a little bit of an extra step, but you definitely want to do it here, right? As opposed to the other place, because then you'll always have like the scale dimensions, and later on when you do your graphics page, you can just grab it off of there and it's the right scale. Okay. So we'll just change that right there. Okay. Now what I'll have to do is I just have to go back through, and it's just one extra little step, but trust me, it will save you guys time later on. Control Y, make sure I didn't leave anything behind. Okay, grab this one more time, and then I will drag a copy with Alt drag right over there. S, Alt, click, say OK, went to 75, hit V, Shift nudge over. Okay, so about right there, that's good. And so I re-updated the first page. Now, the second page, let's say that this is like a laser engraving. Okay, so that is actually maybe something that you might want to leave in. But let's say that it's not laser engraving, right? Let's say that that's like a screen print or something. Okay, so let me do my second page here real quick, and I'll go over to my artboards tab, which is over on this side, and I click that little double thing. Go away. Okay. And I click new, not new layer, new artboard. Okay. And I click on that, and that adds a new one. Now, if you look close here, kind of on the edges, and here's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to hit Control or Command K. All right. And go down to user interface. Right. Now I'm going to hit white on the brightness, and I'm also going to hit white on the canvas color. Okay, that's how you can change that canvas color from a dark area. This will help me show you something. So when you're here on an artboard, you can actually click on individual artboards. Now you'll see over here as I'm clicking on it, right, that this second artboard that I hit, it becomes a little darker on the edges, right, just like here and here. So, and it'll toggle back and forth. I'm gonna like double click on this and rename this orthographic views, or maybe I'll call it orthographic render. Actually, I'll just call it the render. Okay, so I'll call that my render, and I'll call this orthographic views. Okay, so what's the difference, right? Well, this one here, we're just going to call it the render on this artboard, and you can also, when you click here, see how it also will darken on the main screen there. It darkens the outline. So what's cool about that, right, is as I grab this, now make sure that you're selected here, okay? But as I grab this and it's on that artboard and I hit copy, I can now click on that artboard. It'll snap to the new artboard, and I hit Control F, and it pastes it in the exact same place on the new artboard, right? The nice thing is all of my information is already here, and I just have to change this now to, actually it's already correct, so it's orthographic views. And so I'm just going to go over here, I'm just going to call this render. Let's actually just call it product render. Oh. Okay, I'll move it over a little bit. Should probably change that too. And okay, so I have that now, product render, and I'm going to actually just change this as well, so the line's right on the left. Okay, all right. So now I have my first page, which is my product render. And then the next page, how is this one actually going to differ though, right? Well, I'll show you. So what you want to do, if you have something like certain graphics, right? Like this one here. Let's say that this is lasered in, but that one's not. Let's just say that that's like painted, okay? So I'm going to hit Command or Control C, and now I'll click to the new artboard. I'm going to click Command or Control F. Once again, paste it onto the front, okay? But this time, we need to have sort of a black and white version, okay? And it's really just showing the actual pieces, okay, of this thing. So I'm going to like delete this, and I can take this and maybe I'll just make it black. Oh, I was thinking. Go. Let's make it black. Okay. And then this right here, maybe I'll make this a much, much lighter version. Probably about right there. Okay. And then this right here, I'll make this, let's see. This is also a good time to kind of, another very, very, very fast way to do this is I'm going to select everything except for the letters, and I'll minus out the letters or whatever. I'm going to group this, Control G, okay? And now I'm going to double click. Well, first you can click on the group, make sure it's a group, and I'll double click on it, okay? And if I hit Y, right, Y is the wand. Okay, so if I click on a certain color, it will kind of grab everything that's pretty much that color or this other color here that's a slight shade off. So it grabs almost everything. It's about that same color. Now I can just instantly change all of that stuff, okay, in there, and it changes. So it's a much faster approach. This right here, I can grab that, and that'll grab all this other stuff that's much darker. And let's just make it kind of like a medium gray, okay? So we say okay, and then this right here, I'm gonna just change to that color as well. Okay, good enough. Well, this is a little bit, that's okay. I'll grab this right here. Okay, so actually what I'll do is I'll just make it all look kind of the same here. The stroke's just maybe a little thick. Okay, and we'll even grab this right here and just change it to this. Okay, and so really all we have now is just a second like a second view. But this time it's showing maybe a little bit more of just the actual product color, or not colors, excuse me, just lines, right? And I can also tell as I look at this, for example, maybe, like I said, whether maybe this one is just another screen print. If it's a screen print, then I'll delete it, right? But if it's a laser, if it's like more of a laser ink, then I'll leave it, okay? Because that's something that will affect, like it's something machined into the surface, okay? And so that right there can be basically your second page, okay? That's if you have like anything that's screened on or whatever. If you don't, then no problem. And that's all you need to do for your second page.